say I'm not playing your fool. That's the story of love. What's that you say, girl? You did it all for me. You didn't want to lose your nobility. Come on, it sounds so wrong when you say didn't have a knife. All time to paradise, you thought it'd be twice as nice, but the moon it don't shine and the sun don't call on the phone. And all the lost children now, they think they're the one who come walking on home, but they crawl to the moon and the sun. They don't crawl to Nothing short of fabulous, as we knew it would be. The Saints 73 to 78, Know Your Product, followed by Story of Love. Ed Cooper, are you there, mate?
Yeah, I am. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. First of all, I just want to say how thrilled I am that you're doing this session for us. Just really been looking forward to this for so long. And if you wouldn't mind, would you just run around the room, not literally, and tell us who's in the band tonight and a fleeting glimpse to their respective CVs?
Oh, goodness me.
Tall order.
We've got Terry on the baritone. I actually don't know much of his CV. Sorry, but he's really great.
I do. Yeah, well, he's a mate of mine, so...
Excellent. Oh, well, there you go. That's how he got the gig. Eamon on the trumpet. He's worked with me a lot over the years in Australia, and he does other things as well. Have Julian on the tenor. Likewise, he's worked with me before, and he does lots of other things. He's the party animal of the band.
Oh, right.
And we have Ivor on the drums, Ivor Hay. He goes back quite a few years. We've got Mick on the keyboard and the guitar. He, he's done more things than just about anybody, I think. Bad Seeds, Birthday Party, and PJ Harvey, etc., etc.
Yep.
Mark on the vocal, Mudhoney fame, and all-round lovely lad. Pete on the bass. I've worked with Pete quite a bit over the years. He is most renowned for the Sunny Boys, I guess.
Also a member of the Aints with your good self.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Aints.
Yeah. Good job I'm here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay then. So we have two original members of the Saints, yourself and Ivor. So, I mean, for the first part of the interview, it will kind of relate to the early years for the Saints. So if either of you feel free to, answer the questions that I'm throwing at you, just go for it. But what was it made you get this lineup together for the Saints 73 to 78? What triggered it off, if anything?
I think we were sort of looking at some sort of 50th anniversary thing a few years ago, and then COVID and various things kind of got in the way. In the meantime, we had the reissue of the first album in a sort of deluxe box set kind of thing, and I wanted to do some shows around Australia just to sort of coincide with that, and that's what it sort of instigated it. We had, I think, 6 shows booked, and they kind of sold out really quickly, so we doubled it, and then we got offers to come to the States and various places and here. So yeah, it was just sort of see how it went.
Okay, well, I mean, it's going swimmingly, obviously. And so I'm just want to hark back to when I first saw the Saints, particularly. And, though a lot of people over here saw the Saints coming over and were hugely impressed, and we'll talk about Top of the Pops perhaps in a short while, everybody thought you were kind of just part of the punk movement, and maybe even you'd seen the Ramones or heard of the Pistols or whatever, but that really wasn't the case. You predated those bands, didn't you, for a couple of years?
Yeah. I think the punk thing was good for us because we probably wouldn't have been able to record 3 albums without it. I think if we had have stayed in Australia, we would have done our single, and that probably would have been the end of it, kind of thing. There just was no interest, no enthusiasm for the band. But yeah, no, we started in high school in 1973, and it was kind of, I never sort of saw the band as a punk band, but I was happy to kind of cash in on the label.
Well, you weren't cashing in because you made some of the best records of the time, which was a really great thing. You just kind of came out of nowhere. And, of course, Radio Birdman were an influence on you in the first place, who you can...
No, actually not.
Is that not right?
No. God, no.
Sorry.
I like them, but, no influence. No.
Right. Okay, well, I beg your pardon, I'll take that back. So, when you came over to England, did you kind of cross-pollinate with the other bands who were around at the time? Did you get on with them?
Occasionally. I was not, that much of a social animal, I guess. I kind of, spent a lot of my time sort of catching up on records I hadn't heard of and books that I hadn't read, that sort of thing. Probably not. Probably not.
Right, okay. And so you did make it onto the Holy Grail, Top of the Pops, which was kind of, everybody knew at that point in time, to get a punk band, particularly on Top of the Pops, was very difficult at the beginning. But you made it on there.
Yeah.
And again, you made an impression on so many people, not only because of the music that you were playing, but because of the attitude, which wasn't it didn't bear any resemblance to the kind of safety pins and all the kind of, the bit more brash kind of punk thing that was going on. You dressed relatively normally, and you obviously had no great kind of reverence for Top of the Pops, because I remember everybody going into school the next day and saying, did you see the Saints? Did you see the singer wasn't miming properly and he dropped the mic and you weren't playing the guitar in such a fashion that would lead you to believe that you were actually playing it live? So did you make that decision before you went on air, that it's a bit of a circus and you just wanted to have a laugh with it?
Well, we had a sort of a preparation for it. In Australia, there was a show called Countdown, which was sort of the equivalent, and we did a similar sort of quite badly mimed interpretation of our own song. It was fun. It was sort of sending it up a little bit, It was very serious, and I guess, we kind of took it for granted a little bit, but also, I can't remember who was the compere that night, Kid Jensen or somebody.
Jensen,
yeah, and it was we sort of presented ourselves in the way that we saw fit at the time.
Yeah, and you've even made it onto the Top of the Pops Wikipedia page, which is, you've arrived.
As the worst mime act on Top of the Pops.
Well, it actually says singer Chris Bailey deliberately mimed the lyrics out of time before continuing to sing after allowing the microphone to fall out of his hand. Meanwhile, guitarist Ed Cooper stood stock still, staring blankly away from the camera while strumming intermittently at a fraction of the fast pace of the guitar on the record.
Yeah, I take exception with the staring blankly. I was actually looking at the monitors, but
I love that.
You have those monitors up high, and I was watching the band on the TV at the same time as doing it. Quite existential.
I love this, right? So every now and then you will see certain artists who would appear on Top of the Pops, and you could tell that they were always looking at themselves at the monitors up in the ceiling. Mark Bolan was the biggest, I wouldn't say offender because it's not an offence, but you could tell he just loved looking at himself so much on Top of the Pops that he didn't pay any attention to the cameras or anything, just the screen right above him.
Yeah, well, it's sort of immediate feedback,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so, do you mind if I just tap into Mick for a moment? Mick Harvey.
Sure.
Mick?
Piano.
Are you there, mate? Have you got a microphone?
No.
Oh, right, okay, I was told you did. Well, should we have a shouty? I'll come back from my microphone and I'll shout at you and you can shout at me. Would you mind just shouting at this point and telling us exactly what the Saints meant to you when you first saw them?
I don't think he can hear anything. He's taken his headphones off to walk over to his microphone.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
constructing some great radio here. Hello?
Yeah, great. It'll edit. Don't worry, it will edit. Mick, good to speak to you. And I just wanted to know exactly the impression that the Saints made on you when you first heard them or saw them.
I think we were shocked that there was a band like that in Brisbane to begin with, because Queensland was like a police state that nobody went to because it was considered to be, I don't know, hard to explain. But anyway, nothing seemed to come out of Queensland that was worth anything, and then suddenly there was a really fantastic band from there. So we just didn't understand that at all.
Right.
But we liked them.
Yeah, okay. And so we've already worked out that Radio Birdman had absolutely nothing to do with the Saints.
No.
So did the Saints have anything to do with the Boys Next Door and then following the Birdman?
I think they probably did, yeah. More so than Radio Birdman also, especially when we discovered that all of Birdman's good songs were actually not written by them, but in their live set at the time. So I speak of a very specific period of time.
Okay.
And obviously the Saints songs were really fantastic. So they were very big for us actually.
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised.
77, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and then finally, Mark Arm. Obviously, you've got a microphone there because you're singing. Can I ask you the same question? At what point did you come across the Saints? So was it 77? Was it a little bit later?
Oh no, it was later. It was the early '80s.
Right. Okay.
I wasn't that hip as a child.
Oh, no, you must be. I mean, Mudhoney, obviously. I mean, you made up for it in following years then.
Yeah, the Saints records, the first two were on Sire in the States, and they were readily available, and so it was kind of easy to dig into the history of the music that we were discovering, and and my friends and I were totally blown away by I'm Stranded and Eternally Yours, and remained so.
Yeah, well, quite right too. And so, I mean, I know you've got two more tunes to do for us, one of which we actually played the live version from this lineup, Know Your Product, just last night, and I played it before. You've got some dates coming up. So on Friday, the 21st, you play Bristol Trinity. Saturday, the 22nd, Leeds Project House. The 23rd, Sunday, Glasgow, The Garage. Next Monday, the 24th, Manchester Academy. And then on Wednesday, you finish off at London Electric Ballroom. So we're talking the Saints, 73 to 78. Just really, as I say, thrilled to have you in session. Thanks so much to all of you for coming in. And would you like to do the last two tunes and tell us what they are?
Yeah, we're going to do a song off the third album, Prehistoric Sounds, and this is called All Times Through Paradise.
Fabulous. Okay, the Saints.